Hello everybody. It is Sunday, July 6th. I am here. It is Sunday Live, Think Creatively Sunday Live with June, and I am June Leindecker with Red Daisy Crafts. So glad to be here. It is raining here. It is raining pretty hard outside, and so I am hopeful we can stay online today and not have any technical issues. I hope everybody is doing well, and I'm going to give it a couple of seconds or so to have people join. In the meantime, I am going to just show the cards. Hey, Amanda, so glad to have you here. These are the cards we made last week, and I'm super excited to share some new alternates with you this week. I have 3 planned, and hopefully we will be able to stay online together throughout the next hour. So I am going to put us down to the table in just a second. I do want to remind you that we are in the subscription period for the Sweeter With You paper pumpkin. The subscription period is 4 more days. So if you haven't signed up for that, please be sure to go and grab that. And I would also recommend that you get the coordinating dies that go with it. And these are perfect for the mini cut and emboss. So just grab those while you're grabbing the paper pumpkins. So let's go down to the table and we're going to get started. All right. So the first card that I have designed or planned anyhow, the inspiration came from, let's see, I believe this is Stampin' Gala. Julie at Stampin' Gala is where I got the inspiration for this card. And so we are going to jump right in. We're going to use the Timid Tiger card base. And this is 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2. And I have a few elements here, but before we get going, I want to kind of talk about this. So this is a card base from the kit that we're going to be using, and I get my little messy stuff out of the way. And we're going to be using this piece of the card base. So I have cut out this part of the card base, and then there was this piece here. And what I wanted was a layering piece that would go on to this part of, I've cut a piece of gold foil that's going to layer on top of here like this. But I also wanted to use this die cut from the kit, and I wanted to show you how I was doing that. So what I wanted here was, when this was all put back together, is I wanted this orangish, the Timid Tiger portion of the floral die cut. I wanted that for my element, and so we're going to use it, and I wanted this piece up here to kind of hang off of the piece itself. So what I did was I measured how much I needed, and I cut that piece out of there. So so we're going to go ahead and put that piece together, and I'm going to get my little mat here because I'm going to use it to put some glue on the back of here with just it's going to be easier for me to use our little mat here to do the glue, because that way I can just put the glue in some areas without making too much of a mess. And I thought that I had a little sponge here, but I'm just going to use tissue to do it. And so where I want the glue is around this rose color here, and this one up here. Okay. and we're going to put some here as well. And the nice thing about this little rubber mat is that the glue will then dry and I can just peel it right off. But for now, I am going to just put this down on here like so. All right, so we are just going to lay this on to our little piece here, lining it up. And then we will, there we go. I think that's right. So then I'll just press down, and that's the piece we're going to keep. Now I'm keeping all of this on the piece, but we are going to trim off the other pieces of it. Hey Wanda, thanks for joining. And then that's going to create the little piece we want for our card. Okay, and then I'm not going to get rid of the rest of this because I could still use it on another card, but this is just another way for you to expand the kit. So I am just trimming this off here, right at the edge. Okay, and so there we have our piece that we're going to use on our card base. Okay, so I want to set that aside, not lose it. All right, so this piece is going to layer on here, and we are going to just glue this right on, but as you can see, it is a little bit framed by the gold foil. Okay, and so that's going to be the focal point of our card. And I am realizing that I don't think I remembered to get new glue, so I'm not sure if I have to. Hopefully I can make it go the distance. If we have to do that too many times, yeah, I was afraid of that. All right, I have my other little glue here, and I think I can still use my little holder. It just doesn't fit the holder because this is a larger bottle that I bought at some point off of Amazon. So, all right, so we are just gonna layer this right down like so on there. And there we should have all of that tacked down. All right, so that's our piece, and I'm so excited about this card. I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And then we're going to use this part on another card next. So let's go ahead and talk through this card here. I have an inside layer with a little element we'll add to that. But here, let's go ahead and fold our card base and burnish the score lines. So how is everybody doing today? I am trying very hard not to be distracted by all of the things that are going on in the news. And so I'm happy to be here with all of you today. All right, so this piece is from our card base in the kit. And so this is the card base we're using. And I have, hey Susan, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. This piece I cut to 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I just want a very tiny border around of showing the timid tiger. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and glue this one down and get that piece put down onto our card front. Okay, so just like that. All right. And then we have another layering piece I made of the gold foil. And this is the one that's textured. So I don't know that this is still available. There is gold foil available, but this one has a little bit of texture to it. It just happens to be the one that I have available at my house. And so this one I cut to 1, 2, 3. So 3 5/8 by 4 5/8. Okay. And then I have that beautiful DSP. Again, the Charming Day. I think it's called Charming Florals, or Floral Charm is what it's called. And the opposite side of this pattern is this gorgeous pattern of tone on tone in the Timid Tiger. So we are going to put that down onto the gold foil layer, and that's going to be the beginning of our focal point of our card front. And again, just really think this card layout just came out so nice. And I love when I can see another card and just go, oh, I want to do this with it. So we're going to layer this on top of here, and we're going to glue that down. This piece we're going to put on dimensionals when we add it to the card. Now, before I put this down, I do have some ribbon. And last week, I brought in and told you about this Pretty Peacock in Gold. This, at least of last week, was still available in the Last Chance area. But I just love this, this ribbon, and wanted to bring that in because of the Pretty Peacock coloring that is still in this image. So I thought it would be a great, great add. If I pull out the larger end of your small bottle, you can fill it. Oh, that's so true. You're right. Not while I'm live though, Wanda. Oh, thank you, Wanda. It has been really you know, a lot to listen to and see all the stuff that's going on. It's not far from really Susan or myself. So what I did though was I really wanted more of the gold to show through because we're using so much of the gold foiling on this card. And so what I did was I pulled out several strands of the Pretty Peacock that is in the lace. And so you can see now that the ribbon is a lot of gold in it. And so we're going to wrap this around this piece right here. And I have more than I need because I just wanted to be sure and not have to do it again. And so I am going to put this on here, get myself in the right direction to tie my bow right here. And so that is just going to go around this piece, and I wanted to put it on before we glued it down because there's plenty of times that I forget to put it on before we glue it down, and so just trying to be thoughtful on it. So yes. All right. So that is the piece. And I don't know if you can see that, but I just love how that looks. I just left that one little strand in the middle. And I think this just came out so nice. All right. I did get some snips out that are better to cut my ribbons. So yay. I got that figured out this week. And now if I can just keep them straight and not get them all gunked up, right? And all right, so this one's going to go right here. And what I want to do though before I do that is I want to figure out the placement because I do want this to be off to the side and actually maybe down a little bit. So let's just see here. I can scoot it down just a little bit so that when we put that on, it's going to be, yeah, I think that's the right spot now. Let's see if we can just scoot it in just a tad. All right, so this piece is going to get glued right onto here. And I'm gonna just make sure I get glue on my ribbon and to hold it in place. And then we are going to place this down right here. And I think just like so. Looks even all the way around. So just gonna hold that piece down right down here because we did put glue on there underneath the ribbon, but still pops it up a little bit. So I want to just make sure that we're getting a good adherence. Okay. All right. So that is that part of it. And then, like I said, this piece is going to get put on with some dimensionals. Wow. Everything in, yeah. Yeah, it's really amazing, and it's still raining here, and, you know, Lord, just be with all those people, keep them safe, and all of us. So, let's just see here. We're gonna get some dimensionals and use that, and, keep moving forward. And so there we have that. And we're going to put one right there. So let's just make sure they're pushed down good. And then we have to do a sentiment. All right. So this is going to be right here, like so. And if I can line up my card on my grid paper, I can do a little bit of a check with my. All right, so that's gonna go right there. And then this right there. I think I got it straight. Looks pretty good. Oops. I do think I need to get a little bit of glue under here. Let me see if I can do it with my little fine tip. Just get a little drop on here. I think that did it. There we go. All right. So that is our card so far. All right. I think it is beautiful, don't you? I really, really love how this looks, and it just really pops that piece right off of there. And you still get all that little delicate pieces. So let's go ahead and put our inside in. I did want to do a little bit of stamping on here, and then also I want to have a sentiment for the front. And I have this little piece here that I was thinking I would trim down to use for our sentiments. So let me just, oh, here we go. I was like, where did my stamps go? They were hiding. All right, so I was thinking we would put happy birthday on here. And I like this little tiny thin happy birthday. So let's do that. And I'm going to put it on here. And this is the back side of that piece because it's going to match all the other whites that are on the front. And we are going to use Pretty Peacock for this. So let's go. Oh, I need my foam mat. Where's my foam mat? All right, so here's the foam mat. All right, so let's just ink up our happy birthday. And just gonna put this right down here in this corner, like so. There we go. and then I will come back and do a little trimming on that. Now, I also wanted to bring in, we have these pieces that I'm going to put on this inside layer like so. All right, but I wanted to add a little bit of design on the inside. And so let's get out this leaf here to put on here. So I thought we might just add some of that on here. So just we'll put one here like so. And then I'm going to do second generation. I'm just going to come down here like that. And that's what we're going to have on the inside, just a little something. And then we will add this little extra layer down here at the bottom. Okay, so again, this is just let me measure it, because I think it's 7/8 or no, 3/4 of an inch by 4, and then this one is just a half an inch wide, and we're going to put that timid tiger side up right here like that. So like that. All right, so that's what we have. And then this will go on the inside of our card. All right, just like that. Okay. All right, so just, is anybody crafting today with me, or are you all watching? I love it when you guys craft with me. I know sometimes Wanda does and other people, so I'd love to hear if you're crafting today. And so here we go. All right, so that's the inside. That came out so nice, right? And this is the outside. So now we just need to add our sentiment. And but I do want to trim it down just a little bit to see if I can get this just a little thinner. Perfect. All right, and oh, I guess I should just go ahead and use my trimmer for this. So looks like that would be about the right distance. So they'll be equal on each side. Perfect. All right. And this is just going to go right up here like so. So we'll put a little tiny dimensional on the back of here. So I'm just getting my little mini dimensionals out. So we're just going to put one on this end and then put a little glue on this end. And we're going to add that right up here at the top of our card. Like so. All right, now I do have a few more of the little gold sequin that came in the kit. So let's just go ahead. Whoa, that one went flying. It went a distance, y'all. There's no catching it at this point. So I am going to add one here and then a smaller one here and another small one down here like that. All right, and so that's our first card. Oh, that's so nice. Well, Wanda, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I just love this. And I think the pieces that we didn't use, so for example, let me grab this back, could so easily be like, I feel like the rest of this could also go on a corner of a card, but it would need to go this way. So you have room for it with a whole nother piece coming out down here. So I just think there's still opportunity for this piece of the card base. But I just really wanted that piece of it so far, and wanted to show how I was doing that. So just trying to do something different. And I could probably stick that under a little bit if I needed to, but it's not too fluffy there. And if I wanted, I could shorten my tails as well. So, oh, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. All right, so let's move on to the next card because we are going to use the rest of this card base. And this card I got inspired by some instructions that I purchased from Jackie Bowley's, and it's like a double box card, and I haven't made this card before, but we're gonna make this card. So I wanted to go ahead and write down for you all what the scoring is. So this card base, I'm putting it here because I always talk about it, but I thought this would be a good visual. So it's 9 3/8 by 4 1/4. Okay, that's the card base, but there's a second piece of it. So this is 1 and this is 2 card base. Okay, and so this piece is 5 1/8 by 3 1/2 inch. Okay, all right, and so card 1, score 1. Okay, this is going to get scored at 3/8 inch, 1 3/8 inch, 2 7/8 inch, and 3 7/8 inch. Okay, and the second score line, so second card base, okay, that one gets scored at 3/8 inch and 1 3/8 inch. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that right there, hoping you guys can see that and get a note down on it. Now I saved, I think we're going to use this piece in our card, but I saved this because I wanted to show you, like, this edge here you could trim off and get another little sentiment piece. Like, I don't know if you can see, but the whites are different. So you can see this one on top is the basic white, but this is the white that is in the card kits. So here is where, or the reason why we use the back of something sometimes. Okay. And so just really wanted to show you how you can get a little piece out of that little leftover. Okay. All right, so again, we are using the leftover of this card base. All right, and I did also have to use another card as well because of the multiple pieces in this particular card design. And so far, I have that piece and this piece cut out, and this is what was left over after I used the other card, the back of the other card base. But now we're going to need to cut one more piece out of this, And that piece is going to be 3.5 inches by 3.25 inches. And I will tell you all those pieces and the dimensions of them. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do this first. So I need 3.5. All right, so I'm still keeping this because I have the leftover die, lacy die floral piece that I can use. And then I need to turn this and get 3.25. Okay, and so now I just have this piece left. Okay, and this little strip here, which could also be a sentiment strip. All right, so like I said, here is our first card base, and I have already scored it at 3/8 of an inch, and then 1 3/8 inch, then 2 7/8 inch, and 3 7/8 inch. And that is how you're going to get this little box. This is going to be a little mechanism, but you're going to get a little box here, okay? And probably we're going to glue it down laying flat like that, and then whenever we stand it up, it's going to be a box. All right, so that's that piece. Now this piece I said was 5 1/8 by 3.5, and it has a 3/8 inch score line and then 1 3/8. So let me get my bone folder and just do these nice and good. All right, and we'll do this one and then that one, and then okay, this card base color I am using early espresso, and I chose early espresso because I'm using these elements from the card kit, and so I wanted to pick up the darker color in the tree trunk, but I decided to go a little bit darker just because I thought it would give a nice contrast. So instead of using like the pecan pie, I'm using the early espresso. Okay. All right. So that's our pieces here. All right. Now, because I want a place to have something to write, I am going to add this piece on the back of our card. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, just because I don't want it to get complicated once I've glued everything together. And so this is 4 by 5 1/4, just, you know, the standard inside layer where you would be able to sign your cards. So I'm just doing that at this point. Now, I also am going to do a little bit of stamping on here. So where did my stamps go? I know they're hiding over here. I want to use the similar stamp that's in the set that has that fun little branch. And then I'm going to grab the little leaf as well. And so we're just going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside, just to, or on the back, I should say, just to give it a little bit of interest or added interest. Let me get my berry burst that's cut open. Where is it? Huh. Thought I had one that was open over here. Did I miss that? Oh, duh. Oh my goodness. All right, so let me grab a block here. That is handy. So I have my flowering piece, and then have our leaf. All right, and I have Mossy Meadow also that I'm going to use for my leaf. But let me grab my foam mat here, and we're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of something on this. Okay, so let's just use our berry burst right here on this. And we're just going to do one off. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. Okay. And I'm just doing the one. And then I'm going to get our leaf And, oh, that was not what I wanted to do. That was a boo-boo. So let me get my cleaner because I wanted to use Mossy Meadow. Not, we don't need a berry burst leaf, do we? That would be kind of funny. Although it is your card, if you want one, you can have it. And so let's see here. All right, so I'm just making sure we got good color. All right, so I do want to stamp off so I get a little bit of a lighter color here. And so I am just going to do that right there. And that's all we're going to have on there. I'm just leaving it at that, keeping it simple, but just provided a little added interest on the back of the card where you can write a note. Okay. All right, so now let's get back to our card base. All right, so this card base, if I want it to stand up properly, I am going to want to glue this down here. Now, because I have not made this before, I also want to make sure that I am putting all of these pieces together properly. So this piece is going to go on here. Like so. Now I noticed before we do this that I have some pieces I need to glue down. So before I do that, let me tell you about these card pieces. So we have this piece here that is going to go on this side like so. And this this piece, it measures 4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So I actually think it's meant to go this way. All right. So because that looks more like it. I don't know why this doesn't look right to me. It is the piece that they are putting on there. I probably, oh, maybe it will look right once we put it all together. I was just wondering about this part over here, but I think that once we layer this down, you're not going to see it. Okay. And so this piece is going to go here. And again, I said that this was 4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Okay. Then we have another piece that's 1 inch by 4 inches. Okay. And that's going to go on here. All right. So let's go ahead and put those pieces down first. And make sure get them in the right direction. So I want to do my best here, not to screw up. Since I did not make a sample of this, I wanted to kind of do it with you. And then we're going to have this piece here. I think I've made something similar, but not this particular setup. All right, so now that goes right on that piece like that. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and put some glue right on that part that got scored at 3/8 of an inch. So right here, like so. And then I'm going to lay that down flat. All right, because your card's still going to go flat and mail in the mail. Okay. And so now you can see when we pop it up, and you're right, I don't see all that brown on the inside, right? So, and your card stands up so nicely. Oh my gosh, could I do that any worse? Because, you know, my card is not going that direction. All right, so we could have done better on that. I could put another one over here, but I'm not going to worry about it. You don't make the mistake I made, okay? Because essentially this should have been down here. But It's still not bad. I think it's still okay. I guess whoever I send it to will have to forgive me, right? And so anyhow, there you go. Or I suppose I can make my card stand up this way. We'll see once we put it together how it works out, but I don't think that's the intended plan. All right, so now we have this piece, and it gets a piece of DSP, which we are using the card base from the kit, and this piece measures 3.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Okay, and that's going to go right onto that piece right there. All right, so let's just do that like so, and get this on here centered properly. I think I'm a little bit crooked, but I don't know, maybe I'm okay. Maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at. All right, so now this piece gets added to the front of here, okay? And so we're gonna put this down in 2 steps, all right? So one way for me to know where I need to put my glue is I will use a sticky note to mark my spot. So in other words, I don't want my glue to go past this area. So I want my glue to stay in that zone of the card. Okay. And that's where we're going to put our glue. So now we're just going to put some glue right in here and make sure that we have that put down properly. So now I'm going to take my sticky note off of here, and I'm going to just make sure I have this lined up right. And that is going to go right there. Okay. Right there. All right. So that is that piece. All right. So just, all right. Then the next part of this is we are going to put down this part of it. Okay. And so this is a little tricky, what I've done to myself here. And I'm not sure if that's the best way for this to go together, but this is how it goes. All right, so now I'm going to put this piece down, okay? And there's that piece, all right? And so now we have our box, our double box, okay? And that's how this card looks. All right. So if you turn it over, my image is upside down. Now, if I did my box card this way, which I guess you could do, but it feels weird. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn it back around and oh well. So we have this. All right. So now what I wanted to do was to use some of the pieces of the this was on here like so. Okay. And I wanted to use this to decorate this front. Okay. And I noticed that this piece here kind of replicates this one up here. And so I decided I was going to use this upper part. And then I was going to layer this in with some dimensionals to give it just an added dimension to the card. All right. So the top is going to go, I'm going to just put this right in that corner. All right. And then we are going to trim this off down here. Okay. And I could even just take that top part, but I feel like I want the whole piece. So let's use the whole piece. So let's see here. If I take this from that to that, it was 3 3/4. So we need to trim this down 3 3/4. So right there. Okay. All right. So now we have that piece. All right. And so this is going to go on here like so. All right. And I think it makes a really beautiful front to this card. And then we're going to take, I don't know if I could use that piece or not down here. I don't think so. I'm going to just set that aside. I want to use this piece here, and I just want to layer this on into the card, I think. And so I am going to figure out how I want to do this. So let's see here, because I think I had it coming in like this, because I had it to where it lined up with the trunk down here. And so it'll just be an added layer onto this front. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put this down with some glue. All right. And just kind of getting in all the spots here. So it gets put down pretty good. All right. And then this piece is going to go right up against the edge of that other white layer. All right. So we have the little gold foiling popping through and all of that kind of stuff. So this is put down flat. All right. Then we're going to come back and we're going to add this one in. And again, I believe I want it to go right there. So I'm just going to trim this off a little bit so it doesn't look so rough here. And I'm going to trim this side a little bit so it just looks more natural, as opposed to I just hacked it off of there. And so all I did was like smooth off that edge a little bit. Okay. And I always use undo when I'm yes. But yeah. Yes, that's a great idea, but I'm going with it. All right, so this is just going to go right in here on top of that, and I'm just lining it right up with that tree trunk like so. And so we're going to use some dimensionals on the back of here, and I want that moved just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now we go. All right, and so we're going to have a dimensional there, one up here. I do not need all these dimensionals, but this is what I got. And then I'm going to cut just a little tiny sliver that I'm going to put on the little tree trunk area. So just a teeny tiny little piece just to hold that in place. Okay. So now I'm going to take off my dimensional covers and let's see here. All right. So now I am, like I said, lining this up with that tree trunk right there. And that's going to go right on top of there. So that's what that looks like right there. Now I'm going to bring a sentiment in here. And so the end of this isn't even going to be seen. And so when it stands up, they'll have a little sentiment here. Okay. And so that's why I was keeping this little piece here to do that. And so we're going to use thank you. I'm going to put it right here. And so let me get the thank you stamp that we have from the stamp set this month. And then we're going to add that right here, and then we'll trim it off with the cutter and everything will be beautiful. All right, so let's bring this in like so. Get our pretty peacock like this. And we're just going to put our little thank you right down here. Hopefully, oh, I almost got my head in there, didn't I? All right, so that's our little thank you that we're going to add. Okay. And let's just get our trimmer out. And we're going to just trim this off. So looks like I can get this at 3/8 of an inch. Perfect. Okay. And so we have that. And let's see here. What do we want this to be? I think I got it at 1.5. Works fine. It's a little bit on, oh, almost just right. All right, so we have that. The other piece I have that I could add in is I could bring in this, but I don't think I even need it. You know, I don't think I need it. Like I could stick a few of those, I could cut this up and stick little pieces in, but I don't think I even need it. So we're not going to do that. But let me put a couple of little tiny dimensionals on here. And we are going to cover up the end of that piece we layered on. Okay. And then we have our sentiment on here like so. All right, so let's just see here. I want to line it up. Don't want it to be upside down. All right, so that's going to go right there. Perfect. So we have the little thank you. Now, I should have done that in Mossy Meadow. Absolutely should have done that Mossy Meadow, and I may fix it later. But that's the thank you. I don't even think you can tell that's Mossy Meadow in the camera. But so that's that piece. All right. So then we have some of our we have the gold sequins, but I am actually thinking I would like to get some Stella in here. And so I am going to bring Stella in. And this is just a wink of Stella, and I'm gonna do some of these darker colors in this floral design. Just get a little wink on those. I'll try and see if I can show you in the camera, but wink of Stella just adds a little bit of shimmer to all the places where you put it. And then we'll see if we can get it to, let's see if I have enough in here to do some splattering, because I also think that would be good. So let me see if I can get some down in here and just see if I can get some splattering on here. I think I got a little. I think my wink's getting at the end of its road. But there is that. And I don't know if you can see the shimmer a little bit. You can there. And that is that piece. So now let's just add a couple of these little wonderful things. So I'm going to add 2 right down here. Like so. And then we'll put another one right up here. And that is our card. So I really do like this. I love how it came out. I wasn't entirely sure. You could add a linen thread, a little linen bow on here with the linen thread. And I love that you have a place to write your note on the back, even though I have mine upside down. I think this is a really nice and easy card layout. And it stands up nicely for display. So, all right. So I do have one more card that I have planned. So I think I'm going to go ahead and see if we can rush through that. I tried to have everything ready, so I'm hoping it won't be a ton of time here. And this one comes from, my inspiration is the sheetload of cards. This was the April month that it came out. I am using a couple of things here This one I'm going back and using this card base with the gold foiling on it. So I I think that's everything I needed out of here. But I did want to tell you guys I am using these from the online. These are online. It's a part of the mix and match. I cannot find my little, I thought I put my little label in here, but I don't see it. This is from the mix and match. It came out pretty recently. It is just a variety of gold and basic white, just elements that you can pop out and use. Oh, there it is. There it is. I thought I had put it in here. It's called Foiled Frames and Labels Ephemera Pack. Okay, it's 165616. And I love this because it makes kind of a quick and easy, already die cut element for you to add to your card. But I also love that they gave you the frames, not just so I'm using this one. It came out of here. Okay, so I also have this piece. I'm not using that right now, but I have trimmed some off, and I will show you what we're going to do with it on the card. But I really love this little option for you because it's quick and easy. So like if you don't have a die cut machine and you're not wanting to get into that, this is a great way for you to just get some added shapes for you to add to your cards. Okay. And all right, so let's go ahead and start to get this together. So for my card, I did need to cut this off because it was too tall for what I was wanting to do with it. And so I'm using a piece of my gold foil, even though it's a little bit different because it has the texture. I'm using that to go right at the bottom of here. So I'm just going to glue that on right now so that there is no forgetting it. And then we'll go ahead and do the stamping for this. And for this, I am going to use Mossy Meadow. And we are going to use the Let's Celebrate You. Let's Celebrate You set stamp in the piece. So in the stamp set, if I can get my words out right, I'm going to go ahead and clean off this piece right here. I might want to use it, but this will make it easier than me getting out another block and having more things on the table and whatnot. So we're going to use this one. And another option for this would be to use Night of Navy, but I just don't have mine handy. So I think that this is going to be just perfect. And will match very nicely. So this is going to go right up here at this part of this little label. All right, so that's that piece. And I'm going to go ahead and just clean that off so our block is free again for the leaves. And I could just put this back on my stamp thing because we are not going to use any more of that. So all right, so that's that piece. I am not sure, I can't remember if we're doing any other stamping, so I'm going to go ahead and start to give you all the dimensions. So we are going to use this piece is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It is Night of Navy. The card base we are using is Night of Navy. And I do have an inside piece that we are using for the card. And then we have multiple layers that are going to go. This is going to go on the inside of the card. So let's go ahead and just put these pieces together, or I don't know. I don't think it goes on the inside, to be honest. I'm not sure if I made a piece for the inside. We'll find out. All right, so here we go. get this on here straight. There we go. All right, well, that is for the front of the card, and I'm just moving too fast. And maybe this is the one I made for the inside. So we'll do that in a minute when I figure out what I'm doing. All right, so I did cut this piece from the card base, okay? And I wanted to just have a white background, and I love that it has the gold foiling. So this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4, you know, standard layering size. So we are just going to add that to the front here. And there we go, like that. And so, all right, now we have this piece that is going to go right onto our card front, and it is going to go right here like that. And then I'm bringing in the DSP piece that we used earlier, but now we're going to use this beautiful floral side. Or am I using the big? I don't think I am. I think I'm using this side. I think I want to use this side, but I think we're using this side. Only because I think the other side could get too busy for what I have planned. So apologize for that confusion. I will tell you the dimensions of these 2 pieces in just a moment. Let me move that out of the way because that is not this card. And so the Night of Navy layered piece that I just put together, that is 5 inches by 3 inches. And then this is just a quarter smaller. So this is 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay. And then this piece is going to get added to the card front, like so. All right. And we're just going to go ahead and put that down. I'm sure I'm feeling in the mood to really mess up, so I'm trying not to. I just know whenever I get past the hour that I start to get nervous because I think I'm going too long. So thanks for hanging in there. All right, so then this piece is going to get put on here, and it goes right in that spot, just like so. Okay, and so I am going to put this on with some multi-purpose liquid glue, and let's see. So I have it. It's going to go right there. All right. And then the piece that I said that was going to be going on the inside, it's going to go right here, and it's going to layer on top of that. Now we're going to put that one on with some dimensionals. Okay. Then what I think what is getting me all confused is that I am using from the card kit the piece of floral die. Let me see if I could get my fingers on it. This piece, okay? And what I am doing, because, you know, it matched the other side of the DSP, right? And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to use that side, because I thought it would just get too busy, all right? And, you know, to try and put this on here, it's just too much, right? And so I trimmed off pieces, okay? So this piece came from this piece right here, okay? And I trimmed off all the extra white as much as I could, all right? Then this piece here is this little guy right there, all right? This piece here came from this piece that right there. And this little guy right here is this piece right here. So last week I used this piece in another card. So I had one that was already chopped up. And so I just wanted to show you how I was putting this all together. Oh, thanks, Amanda. Thanks for telling me, calm down, slow down. It's all right. I appreciate that. All right, so that's why we're gonna go ahead and put this on with some dimensionals because I want to stick those in around it. Okay, and it's just gonna look so good, y'all. Wait to see. All right, here's my big dimensionals, and I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 down here, and then we're gonna put 2 on this end, and I'm gonna put 2 in the middle, like so. All right, and that just gives it good support. All right, now I could have easily like brought in some sort of ribbon, tied around it. I just don't know that it needs all of that, and I think it would just take away from those little leaves we're about to add on. And so let's just get this put down. So this is going edge to edge, and I'm just going to scoot it up just a tad. And so there we go. Ta-da! That's that. All right, so that's what we have so far. All right, now, like I said, we're going to add these guys in. All right, and so one of them we're going to add right there. All right, and I'm going to use some of my little fine tip here to put some of these down. And I am not going to put down the whole thing. So I want it to be a little bit fly away. All right, so just getting this going. But I'm going to be pretty good about putting down the bottom of it where that's a little more fragile. Okay, now I'm bringing this one in and I'm just going to stick it down right here. Okay, so I just want to tilt it a little tiny bit this way. There we go. All right, so that's there. And now I have this little guy that I'm going to bring in. Oh no, I don't think I want him on top of that. We are going to have this one on this side. And this little one is really fragile up here. So what I am going to do on that is I am going to get a little dimensional. All right. And we are going to pop him up and give him some stability when we put it down. All right. And we're going to do another, let's see, another little tiny piece of dimensional right here, just to give support to our little guy here. All right. And so now if I can get this in before I try to tear them apart, because trimming some of that white off is you get kind of close to things, and so that's where you just want to be careful. All right, so we're going to have this one coming in like this. And so there we have those guys. All right, and then I'm going to stick this one in here. And I knew this would happen. I would get here and then think I wanted more, but we are not going to keep adding. We're just going to do what we have. All right. So there we have that, like so. Now I could always try to put a little dimensional up under here as well, but this guy was just really fragile. All right. So now I have this little piece here, and you could go crazy, like trimming off little pieces here, but I really love how this looks without the white edging around it, and how it just added to the way that this looks. It just made it to me look a little bit more delicate. Okay. All right. So now that just looks crooked right there. Let's see if I can manhandle this and adjust it. Oh, we're lucky. We are lucky today. There we go. That's better. All right, now that's better. Okay, so now we have just to add a couple of our little gold sequins, and we'll put an inside in the card. So that's where I had this piece. So I knew I had something to layer, but I wasn't really sure what all that was. But on this one, I am going to use the florally side because it still matches the front and ties those leaves in. But we're going to do it this direction right here. All right. And then we're going to add the little navy stripe down the middle of it. And we could have stamped on the inside. I can always come back and put something on the inside, but I think this will be good. And then we'll get this laid down, and then we'll add some of the sequin, and we are good to go for today. I hope that you have enjoyed these cards. I really am pleased with how they came out, and this kit is beautiful. So many options for it. And so let's just get some of these on here. So I'm going to kind of do a little hidden one here. And then another one right there. And then we're going to put another one up here like so. And that is our third and final card. Oh, thank you so much, Susan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you joined us. I am not sure if you've joined us before, but if you have, thank you for coming back. And if it's your first time, I'm so glad you're here. So, all right. So these are the cards that we made today. Wow, I just think they're lovely. And I hope that you enjoyed it, and see how this one stands up. So fun. Oh, we got this the wrong way. There we go. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. If you are joining on Facebook, please share my page if you liked what you saw, and follow me on YouTube if you're not already. So thank you for joining me, and we made it. We made it through. The rain did not cause any hiccups, so hopefully we're all good. Have a great week ahead, everybody, and I will see you next Sunday with more alternative projects using Full of Charm. Bye, everybody.